What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Restoration Rundown podcast. This is the podcast that's dedicated to you, the restoration business owner. My name is Ben Riccardi. I'm the host, and I'm also the CEO of Ironclad Restoration Marketing, where I help restoration and cleaning business owners get more sales just by getting their internet marketing right. And speaking of restoration and remediation contractors and cleaning contractors, I have the privilege of bringing on a very special guest today. I'm really excited to have her on. She's from a little known publication in the industry called R&R Restoration and Remediation Magazine. I want you to welcome Mrs. Myldred Ingram, the editor-in-chief of Restoration and Remediation Magazine. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here.
So in case anybody's been living under a rock the last 50 years, or if they're in the industry, what is Restoration Remediation Magazine? For those people that don't know, let's pre-qualify the magazine. I want to get into your background a little bit.
So Restoration Remediation Magazine, or affectionately called R&R Mag sometimes, we are a media brand that serves the industry from education. You can come and see like kind of latest news within the industry. You can figure out what new events are going on, not just now, but like a little bit in the future as well. So that's pretty much what we do. And we also have really cool interviews that we do as well. Again, it's just a part of the education side. So yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So everybody that's been living under a rock or in a cave and somehow you've gotten internet service, that's the lowdown on R&R. We're going to get a lot more into the magazine and everything they have going on. But Myldred, I really want to learn a little bit more about you because you're relatively new to the mag. You've taken over. You're running the show. You're slapping people around. You're taking names. You're getting good content up there. We had a really cool chance to meet at the Experience Conference. I think it was in May. I mean, time's been flying. I can't believe it's been that long ago. But I got a chance to meet you and get to know what you're about a little bit. But I wanted to give us a little bit of your background. You have a really cool, interesting story, which led you up to being editor-in-chief of the R&R Magazine.
So what's so interesting is I am new to the magazine. I'm new to the industry as well. But outside of, I would say, my journalism background, I was a news producer and an anchor for years, at least 10, 11 years. So I'm very familiar with at least like publications. I've also worked at a magazine once upon a time when I was much younger, when I was a child, like a teen magazine. Of course, they were run differently at that time. It wasn't online. Right. But so I am familiar with like understanding beats and, I love talking to people, getting to know people, and of course, just serving our community. Outside of that, I do have a musical background. So a lot of my schooling was in like classical trained, and I have done a lot of opera, and I have done some jazz, and I've been in a really cool band where we would like travel around. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally, so we would travel around the state and do really cool shows. It was a cover band, so I mean, pretty, I've enjoyed myself so far. Before coming to R&R, I was a technical writer. And just in case, people aren't too familiar with what a technical writer is, they don't really just write manuals to things, but sometimes help and aid in writing, like stuff for teachers for virtual classrooms or even in-person classrooms, like they're almost like their textbooks and things that just help aid with them. So the closest that I had, I did write an ebook on storm restoration, which is so interesting. It was the very last thing that I wrote at where I was previously. But so a lot of things kind of led up to this point. I'm really excited to be here. It is a great industry. I mean, I jumped in and we went to about like 50 million trade shows. I
can imagine. Yeah.
So
they take a lot out of you.
Oh, yeah, they really can. They really can. You meet great people, but my goodness.
Absolutely. Yeah. So so what's really cool about your story is, you don't have that traditional restoration and haven't been in the industry that long. But that, to me, that kind of weaves you into a cooler story because you've gotten to come into this industry with zero bias. It was with zero knowledge and then kind of learning from the ground up, but kind of getting thrown into the fire from the get-go, right? You jumped right in. The trade shows are a lot. We were presenting at the Experience. We had a booth set up. I did a little education thing, and I just saw how you were running all over the place, you're talking to everybody, and some of the heavy hitters in the industry. So being that, one of the things that we talked about beforehand that I like to do when I said on the show is we're 100% about education here. The reason I do the podcast, the reason I've written a couple books, the reason I make all these videos and I'm putting myself out there is really to educate the market, being restoration, cleaning contractors, on the do's and don'ts, the hows and whys of what you should be doing when it comes to digital marketing. So education being at the forefront, I think that R&R is really awesome in what they do. So I wanted you to speak a little bit about what you guys are doing on the education side, because yes, you're a publication, yes, you're a magazine, you're sharing the news and things like that, but I have noticed quite a bit lately, and I think we've spoke about this at Experience, that you guys are going to be gearing a lot more towards the education side. Could you speak a little bit about what you guys have going on in terms of education, training, who you might be partnering with that it would resonate with some of our listeners?
So as far as education goes, we do have some things that we are working on. I believe, let's see, oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of the proper name. So it's not just the Baker Group, but I think I have to think about it, but it stems from them, but definitely stemming towards the education side. Of course, with the Experience, we have a lot of people and speakers, as you know, there that helped us broaden and share more education just within the industry. We have, let's see, what else do we have? We have a lot of guests, I would say video bloggers that we have, I would say coming more so in the fall, maybe after the Experience. And so many people, there's a lot happening for everyone in the industry right now that are just going to be sharing stuff on like, microbial stuff and large loss information and cleaning. So we are trying to lean more into growing our cleaning audience. And it wasn't the largest part of our beat, but restoration and remediation, you have to clean.
Sure.
It's a part of it. So those are some of the things that we have going on right now that we're brewing. So if you stay tuned, in the fall, we have a good amount of stuff that we have coming out. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I've been following along. As you know, I love to talk and I love being on video. So, that's something that I really, I feel like we connected when we started talking about what you guys had coming up. So regarding education and regarding that, again, harping on you being relatively new, why was education, it seems like there's been a little bit more of a push towards that when it comes to R&R. Why do you feel like that's important? And no matter what the education's from, I know there's going to be technical stuff, there's going to be marketing stuff, there's going to be just general leadership, probably education stuff, just the culture in general. Why do you feel, and why was that necessary for you guys to kind of get ahead of that a little bit to start implementing some of these things?
Because that is really what people want. Of course, you do want general news, but let's be honest, you can get the general news from anywhere, but the things that are special, and I will say this, is what comes from your peers and hearing things from your peers and who the people that you feel or that you see maybe competition, Everybody has things to share that can even make you as the competition. You can learn things and we can all learn from each other. And education is the biggest thing in anything. To me.
Yes.
So that is why we were like, that needs to be the forefront, because you look at your analytics and you see like what things people resonates most for them. And it's education from so many different levels, not even just like, how to handle large loss and what to do after. But I mean, some things that deal with like, 5 things to, help your business grow. And, so that is, it's just most important because it's,
I totally agree. I mean, you could say it in 1,000 different ways, but I do agree that, educating yourself and empowering yourself with this knowledge is crucial. If you're a guy that's just starting out, you may have been in business for 30 years and there's always going to be something that you can learn. So, I think that, publications like you have and the education you guys are doing are invaluable to the industry. So the industry. Interesting industry, as you found out. Have you identified any kind of common problems, and I know you're looking at things from a completely different lens, and your involvement is completely different, but I really like to identify some commonalities when it comes to issues people are having, and I think you probably gained a lot of that from these trade shows and speaking to everybody and meeting some interesting characters along the way. Is there anything you can speak to some common problems and how maybe R&R is stepping in, or you might be implementing some things to kind of solve them?
So I lightly touched on it before, and there's more that I can add to that. But I mean, I think that a lot of the different companies, we all work to serve our customers, or just the communities. And in a lot of the times in the same ways, and working together could make it like a Walmart type of type of situation, like working together at least every once in a while. I understand a lot of the times, like, we're all from different areas, but not just seeing people as competition, but understanding that it's a community and seeing it like that, like, hey, this is what this person is doing. We can learn from that. We can grow from that. Maybe we could, connect every once in a while, or, be able to send some client, we don't all do all the same things either. So maybe you could send some people there and they can send people to you, and that kind of thing is what I see. It seems as though seeing people is just like, well, we're competition. We don't do that over there. They do that over there. And that's kind of their domain. And it's like, no, it's all everyone's domain. So I think that is a thing that we're trying to implement in a way, especially with, especially with the experience, how we bring all of these people together, trying to see new ways of bringing together some of the larger, and not even just larger, but some of the, deemed competitive companies together to just work for the company, work for the clients, not the company.
Right. I think a lot of people miss that. And I think that's, again, you touched on it before, but this community over the individual is important because, look, a lot of people, I see these struggles. They have a hard time just on the most basic level, just getting leads in. So when they galvanize themselves and they kind of look around their little service area and they're like, well, there's this restoration, this cleaning company, and this, it behooves them to join associations. And we talk about this all the time in our omnipresence approach to marketing is, one of the first things we ask is, how are you involved in the community? Are you making an effort to be involved in these industry associations, whether they're regional or national, meeting your peers, finding out what they're struggling with, because it may not just be you, it may just be the market. And we see, because of this industry, how fast it's blowing up. There's a lot of newbies that are getting involved. So again, going back to plug in R&R, I think a magazine, a publication like that not only is sharing the news and sharing experiences from people or sharing amazingly written articles by me to help people out, but it's creating that sense of community. And I really noticed that at the Experience conference, because we did speak to a number of cleaning contractors, restoration contractors, and that's what they were struggling with. Like, well, hey, we're dealing with this. We have nobody to do the work for us. And 5 minutes before that, there was a company there that provides staffing for that kind of stuff. So I think that kind of stuff is invaluable. So, and we noticed that that lack of communication, that wall that a lot of the old school guys or ladies are building with their companies is really a hindrance to their growth, especially nowadays with how connected everybody really is out there. So I applaud what R&R is doing. Now, R&R, specifically to the education, do you guys have anything cool coming up, some new stuff? I know that we spoke about you guys might be implementing some stuff coming up in the fall. Is there anything that you can share with us to kind of tip off everybody to what might be coming up without spilling all the beans?
Like I was saying, we have a couple of, educational videos that are going to be, I would say, consistently broadcasted. One, it has to deal with microbial stuff.
Okay.
One of the
if you're just listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, watch the YouTube video because she just winked.
I winked.
I don't know what that means, but,
so we have a really one of literally the best in the industry talking about that. I won't say his name. Okay. But I'm pretty sure people wouldn't know. But
well, the fall's right around the corner, so
it's right around the corner. This is just a couple of weeks, Yep.
Oh.
So and again, like I said, we are working with, again, I'll say the Baker Group, but it really is larger than that. And I'm sorry that I can't even the name right now, but it is really huge. I mean, we are really getting ready to work to serve everybody just on another level, hopefully, and just with bringing all of these people in together and all of these experts from different backgrounds and, and just showcasing them. And that's all I really want to do. Is I understand a lot of the times the idea is I'm the face of the brand, but to me, I'm not. I just want to create a platform, and a good platform for these people who are the veterans and who are new, because that's important. That's one thing we have to remember is weave the web. It cannot just be the people who have been in for 20, 50 plus years. We have their expertise and the expertise of those who have been in for maybe 3 or 4, who are bringing a fresh perspective to things. So weave the web, guys. It's all connected. It's all interconnected. So yeah, we have some
community, bridging the gaps. Yeah, because there's always a software, there's always a new solution, and I think that's really cool. That's one of the best benefits. Why? I mean, I've been a subscriber to this magazine for a long time, even when we were really just dipping our feet into the industry when it comes to marketing. So I applaud you for everything that you're doing. Now, speaking of stuff that you're doing, I heard that you may be working on a technician award. Can you talk a little bit about R&R's?
Yes.
R&R's inaugural technician award is, I guess, the right way to talk about it.
So
can you give me a little what it is and how do I win it?
How do I win it? So you have to have been a technician for at least 5 years. So I tried to make it to where it was like you could still be relatively new. And of course, if there's any accolades and, it's all of what technicians do. And like, are you a person that exemplifies, or is the person a person that exemplifies and embodies what a technician is? Because technicians are the face of companies.
Sure.
They are the people who are talking to the customers, working with them, going in their homes. So that's what we have coming up. So it's going to be presented in November. I believe that the nominations end sometime in mid-September, but more of that information is going out, I actually believe, today, which is super exciting. We wanted to make sure that we showcased the technicians, the people that are at the forefront, and not just the people who are like the business owners and the franchise owners and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we do that as well. But, these people who are generally sometimes overseen, we want to put the spotlight on them. Show
them a little love. Yeah, I mean, they're what, they're the cogs that make the wheel go around. And
yeah, exactly.
A big part without the technicians, most businesses probably wouldn't be there. And some of the owners started off as technicians. So I shared a link on the bottom if you want to check out our YouTube. But if you're just listening to this and you're being stubborn and don't go to YouTube, just go to randrmagonline.com/technician-award, and you can nominate your favorite technician to win $10 million. I think you said the prize was something like that. What is it? What do they win?
You win a very nice award, and there's something else you have to.
All right, you can tell us. Listen, I've been there. I've been, not a technician in restoration, but I've worked quite a bit my whole life, and that recognition goes a long ways. I think so. If you're a restoration business owner and you've got somebody that you want to, nominate, it goes a long ways. And I'm sure if I'm speaking to somebody out there that's an owner, you've been in the technician side, I hope, at least to some regard. So, check out R&R Magazine online and go to the Technician Award and nominate your favorite tech. Maybe they'll win it. I think that, the award ceremony is in Florida?
It is in Florida, yes.
So this is an event that's coming up that people will be attending to win this award?
Yes, it's the, I believe it's Violin's Retreat. I believe retreat may be the right term.
It's right, yep.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I think it's at a new resort too in Florida, probably.
Oh, and you can't beat Florida in November. It's much better than up north or anywhere else. It's
going to be beautiful.
Awesome. Well, listen, you got to make sure that you nominate your technicians now. So you have another experience event coming up. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? I met you at the experience event
Yes.
in Fort Lauderdale. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it, but why don't you give our audience a little bit more information on the experience, and then maybe talk about, again, going back to the community and selfness, why it's important to attend these events if you're a contractor.
Okay, so we have the fall experience coming up, which is our really huge show. It's September 6th through the 8th, but we also, it really starts on the 5th. So you really will want to get there on the 5th, because there is a lot of pre-show workshops that you really want to be at. You can learn so much. I mean, my goodness, we have some of the best speakers. But we also have a new initiative within the experience. It's a cleaning for health and before looks, and not just looks. There's going to be like a little friendly competition. I forget the name of the tool, but where they just kind of see, like, you get to clean something and they kind of check it to see with this tool that measures exactly how clean it is. And the person with, I think, the lowest or highest number, something like that, wins something really cool. And it's really just to better all of us. It's not to embarrass anybody. You just can learn from it. Sure. So, let's say somebody else, their number is better than yours, and you get to just kind of see, like, okay, so what exactly is that person doing that obviously better serves their clients? It's important to come to shows like this because, my gosh, number one, they're fun, but just the sense of community and learning from your peers and going to these different workshops. And not only that, the experience is very hands-on. Yes. So you get to physically do things and you get to touch things, you know? And so it really just appeals to all of the different types of learning. That's why the experience is so amazing. So you definitely want to come. You learn a lot. You get the sense of community. And a lot of the times I realize every once in a while, depending, like, you'll see people are just really hanging out and learning from each other and having these conversations. We have the industry party, which is a party, but it's really just kind of a wind down from, maybe the trade show floor when everyone is actively selling or, actively having to be, I would say, on. Yeah. Yeah. But, kind of more of like what we're doing right now, just more relaxed conversation where you do get to just kind of learn things and, more than you do whenever you're kind of like on the floor. But yeah, it's worth it, guys.
I can say from experience that it is a great event. You do need the wind down because they pack so much and I'm not sure about the Vegas. I know that's the big one. But my experience at the Fort Lauderdale is they pack so much education. I sat in a few different classes, even though I'm not a remediator, I'm not a cleaning company. I think it's just sharpening my skills a little bit when it comes to marketing and understanding what you need as a restoration contractor. So I thought that was awesome. But yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot. If you go, it's not like any other trade show, or it's probably like a couple different ones, but you go planning on learning something and then treat the trade show floor more like an opportunity to network, I guess. You get to learn about new software, new technologies. There's some really great groups out there. Baker Group, Copper Canyon Law, One Claim Solutions guys are out there to help you get paid. That's all good stuff. Plus all the cool different tools and cleaning equipment that you guys had out there. I mean, I know Lauderdale's like a small version of the Vegas one, so I can't even imagine how Vegas is going to be. So I implore you, if you are able in the beginning of September to attend the Experience Conference. I threw a link up too for the YouTube people. But it's, again, go to R&R Mag Online. All of this stuff is on there. rnrmagonline.com/the-experience-conference, and you can learn a little bit more about going to that event. Unfortunately, I know this might turn a lot of people away. I'm not going to be there this year. Don't fret. I will be at the next one. I think you guys have coming up in Chattanooga next year. It's a little bit closer for us and having my team up there. So appreciate your time. But the big thing is, for those, again, we're speaking to the cave people, or maybe people are unaware. We know a lot of the franchise clients we have, a lot of people that buy into these franchises are relatively new. So how does someone connect with R&R Mag, and what are your suggestions on how to connect and why to connect and where to connect?
So you can connect with us at our website, rnrmagonline.com. We are also on Facebook, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. R&R Mag, or Restoration Remediation Magazine. definitely reach out to us. We do try to comment. Sometimes it is a lot on the social side, but definitely you can also reach out to me. My email is Ingram M, so it's INGRAMM at bnpmedia.com. And I always do my best also to reply to emails with any questions. We get them all the time. So that is the absolute best way to reach out to us.
Awesome. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. We have a little bit of a shorter episode because I know you got a ton going on. I think we've covered the gamut. I love that we reiterated the building a community in the restoration world. It's super important on a million different ways, but it's funny that every guest I have come on, somehow we talk about that. So
really?
Yeah. I mean, it could be because it's true. I think that so many people are just so heads down, working on what they're trying to do with their business. They never get a chance to come up and have a breather. They really have to do a lot of things trial by error, right? And they learn lessons the hard way. So what better way to alleviate some of those missteps than to connect with people that have been there and done that? Yeah. The same thing with what we do education wise. So I think it's really awesome that R&R always has been about the education, but I think more bringing the video aspect into it. I mean, people are more apt to watch a video than they are to read anything anyways nowadays. So, the fact that you guys are bringing on these great guests, I know Anissa is coming on pretty soon from the Firehouse Academy.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's going to be on pretty soon. I'm really excited because she has her column, Ask Anissa. If you guys are doing fire damage restoration, she is somebody you definitely have to connect with. R&R has her on there exclusively. How often does she do a video for you guys now?
Well, generally it was about like once every other week, but Anissa has some really big personal things going on right now. Nothing bad, really great stuff like with her business. So she's sprouting and growing right now, but she's going to also be back in the fall when things die down. I think it's just been a super busy, crazy summer for everybody. So yeah, she is like queen of contents cleaning and all kinds of stuff.
Amazing. We were set up right next to her at the experience conference. It was really great to get to know them. So I'm excited to have her on too. So we're going to plug and talk about Restoration Remediation Magazine and talk about everything they have going on. So Myldred, thank you so much for your time. Again, everybody connect with Myldred, connect with R&R, subscribe to the magazine. They've got a ton of great stuff coming up. If you can make it out to Vegas, check out the Experience Conference. I believe they even have promo codes on their site about it. If they don't, hit me up on my email and maybe we can get something to you to at least attend for a day or two. It's going to be an amazing event. If the Lauderdale one was any indication of what it's going to be like, Vegas is going to be even better. Again, I thank you for your time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Listen, you come on here anytime, and we'll be talking very soon. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow and subscribe R&R Mag online. We'll talk to you soon.